want to start off by saying Illinois Democrats, y'all criminal, man. Y'all taxing these people more and more and more. And then not only that, you're doing it overnight. This is a crime. You guys should stop. You're going to run the good people out of this state. Let me play the video. Let's go.
This bill will be transformational for mass transit in Northeast Illinois and the rest of the state, modernizing the system and making it much more friendly for riders. But critics contend it's hiking taxes far beyond what's needed. The transit fiscal cliff is now in the state's rearview mirror with the passage of the $1.5 billion funding plan.
Every step of the way, as we've been talking about this legislation, we've tried to center the riders. We've tried to think about how we can make their commute more comfortable, safer, faster, help them get to where they need to go.
The plan aims to make for more coordinated and seamless connections between the CTA and Metra, as well as PACE. But one of the big concerns for Republicans, particularly those in the suburbs, is the 45-cent hike at every tollway point, which they say amounts to a 60% increase for commuters.
Hey, wait, I got to pause this. I want to let people know, if you don't know, and this is why I'm looking for a mass lawsuit in the state of Illinois, because not only is the Illinois tollways they're private, so they're not state ran. The Illinois Police Department patrols it, but it's a private tollway, because before they used to suspend licenses for unpaid tolls on the tollway. They don't do that no more because it was unconstitutional due to the fact that it was ran by a private company. Now, I want to tell you this before I begin. Illinois tollways no longer tell you, and I can verify this because I verified this for sure. Illinois tollways no longer tell you how much you're paying per toll. I guarantee, I put $100 on it. Pass the toll. You ain't gonna know the price, bro. You're not gonna know until you pay. You're not gonna know until they send that bill in. But that bill gonna have triple the toll on it because you passed it, and they have to send you the bill in the mail. And now they just increased it. So you're telling me you're increasing the tolls, but you're not even telling me the price of the tolls. And every toll's different. You'll have $2.90 this one. You'll have $1.75 this one. You'll have $3.50 on this one. You have no clue. You won't know until you pay for it. Or it sends it in the mail, but by that time, there's a $20 fee on $3, bro. Bro, it's criminal. Y'all about to open your eyes, bro. I'm telling you.
Unfair to suburban folks. We are left bailing out Chicago Transit, it appears, with zero benefit to us other than, we'll probably have better tollways. But the tollways weren't in bad shape to begin with.
The tollway money will not be used for mass transit, but instead for infrastructure improvements. The vast majority of the funding comes from diverting $860 million in motor fuel taxes to mass transit. Lawmakers removed proposals that included amusement taxes, increases in rideshare or delivery fees, as well as the so-called billionaires tax.
What we wanted to do was find ways to raise revenue that, one, did not hit the normal everyday person in their pocketbook. Number two, that had some clear nexus to transit. We are trying to build a transportation infrastructure and network throughout the state, which includes tollway.
But the bill does raise the state's sales tax by 0.25%.
This is increasing cost on families at a time when families can least afford it, raising the cost on pharmaceuticals, food, the sales tax increase.
Man, they gonna tax us out of a house and a home. Now, before we continue, let me see how much for more. I'm gonna let this video play through. Let's go.
Is going to hit businesses especially hard.
The bill also establishes the Northern Illinois Transit Authority to oversee the CTA, Metra, and PACE. The governor praised the bill and is going to sign it. The CTA said it will protect jobs and prevent service cuts. The law goes into effect June 1st. And there could be some tweaks along the way, according to Cam Buckner. He said, these things happen. But they got it done. Democrats are feeling good about it. Republicans pretty much not on board.
Of course, Republicans are not on board. Why? Because Republicans hate being taxed. Republicans hate when you keep taxing the people money because it's making it harder for them to live. You got to understand. Oh, it's just a tax. A tax means you can afford less of it for the same amount of money. That's what a tax means. That means I shouldn't go through these tolls as many times as I used to because I got to pay more money. That's what tax means. Tax means you don't take it away. Tax means you're going to keep it there and it's always going to be there. And when you get yourself back in another hole, you're going to have to tax us again. Literally. How you gonna tax the suburbs for some in the city? Because they not doing their shit right. And then I will say I am happy that they didn't this part right here, I'm gonna zoom past so you can see it. They said they took a certain part out because this same bill, you gotta understand, the thing that J.B. Pritzker and all the Democrats of Illinois do, while they're passing a bill meant for transportation, they started putting other fucking taxes on other shit. You gotta understand, in this bill that they tax for transportation, they also put a 2.5% tax on sales tax on anything in the store. What they got to do with transportation, G? It has nothing to do with transportation, but they hide those in there. So then they have multiple bills passing at once as one bill. It says transportation bill changes. They at least remove the amusement tax, the ride share and delivery tax, which the amusement tax, that means anything. It was going to be a $5 surcharge on everything like concerts, any tickets, anything that has to do with buying anything for amusement, right? Pretty much enjoyment, probably movies and all that. The second one was ride sharing delivery. They was finna add a $2 extra fee on ride sharing, Uber, Lyft, and then they were gonna add a $2.50 tax on delivery charges, DoorDash, Uber Eats, what else? USPS, FedEx. They was finna add a tax to that. And lastly, good thing they removed it. I want y'all to see what's going on over here. Lastly, they removed the billionaire tax. The billionaire tax, and you see, it's funny that they call it the billionaire tax because they taxing everybody regardless if you was a billionaire. They were going to tax you on unrecognized gains, bro. They were going to tax you 5% on unrecognized gains. So you telling me I get some stock and you charging me on stock that I ain't pull? So I'm losing money, and then if the stock drop, I just lose more? Good thing they changed that, bro. It would have been horrific. It would have been bad. It would have been horrible. But then again, they still they said it's a transit. Is it the transit bill? If this is the transit bill, then why are you putting on a 2.5% tax on all sales tax? Which is so crazy because you tried to lower the tax on all groceries, but you're throwing the tax back on there. We're already taxed at what? 8.5%? Boy, that's finna jump to that shit finna jump to like 11 and some percent, bro. They tweaking. And they not gonna go back on it, bro. And then these companies, they charge you fees to run your debit card. They charging you 4% to run your debit card on the overall price, bro. Look, we're finna get finessed. And you know what's so funny about this? This all went under the table. This, you know how they pass shit in Illinois. If you're not familiar with the state of Illinois, that's my city. I'm born and raised in Chicago, bro. And what they do in Illinois right now is that they pass shit overnight, G. One day. It goes from the House to Senate into a person's desk, immediately signed, and is in order. One day. No hiccups, no nothing. They do this shit within an hour, for real. Hour or two, that shit is from House to Pritzker's desk and into law within 2 or 3 hours, bro. Facts. And they've been doing this since he's been in power. He's been in power almost, 8 years? This is how they've been passing shit. When they have the House, the Senate, and then the governor, all Democrats or majority Democrats, bro, nothing the Republicans say matters. It doesn't even matter in this state. I'm glad that they're there, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, they're going to pass this. So all these people, they're so pro-Democrat, they're going to be kicked out of that same city that they keep protesting for because they can't afford it. You get what I'm saying? While the Republicans are sitting back saying, man, we want to keep our money. Stop spending our money. We want our money. That's all the Republicans are saying. Stop taxing us. If you don't tax us on this, on that, you were trying to slide in amusement tax, rideshare tax, delivery tax, and a tax on non-gains. You were finna taxes on all that. For what reason? You get what I'm saying? Non-realized gains. You was finna tax this all in one bill, and you labeled it as the transit tax, the transit bill. This ain't got shit to do with transit. Maybe the rideshare, but the amusement tax, the billionaire tax, the tax on non-recognized gains, that just has nothing to do with transit. And then you're using our money for the Chicago because they're in a deficit. Oh, we're going to use this for this. We don't care what you're using it for. Stop taxing us. Find out another way to get the money. Don't get it from us by keep raising taxes. And I want y'all to say this before I leave. because I'm done with my rant. I'm done with my rant, man. I just want to let y'all know who lives in the state of Illinois. Y'all need to understand this. Your Democratic parties keep taxing you out of wazoo. You're going to be taxed out of a home. They're going to attack the home next, bro. You're going to be taxed out of the house. You're not going to be able to afford the crib. So that's just what it is. Lastly, when you go to pass the toll, I want you to look up and see where you see a price at. That's all I want to tell you. And if I'm right, comment in the comment section and tell me if I'm right. 290 and none of that. You're not going to see it. I'm off 88. You're not going to see no pricing. You go off I-90 out in Schaumburg and them. You're not going to see no price. You're not going to see it. I guarantee you're not going to see it. I ride it all the time. You're not going to see no price, and they ain't going to tell you how much you owe, but they're all different. It's your boy, AngeloSavage. Tell me what y'all think about that in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video for the YouTube algorithm. Lastly, it's your boy, Savage. I'm going to keep you updated. Don't get it twisted. It's your boy, Savage. Let's go. Peace.